It's late Saturday night, and it is the Brain Tool Show, broadcasting live from all the way somewhere in a dumpy old basement in some old Chicago. Here's your two hosts, the two buffoons, Brain and the Tool.
Good morning, Rob the Brain. Good morning. Yes, it is I, Buffalo Tool, here in the ROC production studio with Rob the Brain sitting alongside of me. And Rob, we've got a pretty good show tonight.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Especially now that we were on hiatus and what have you. So, not to start the show in a negative way, but, we really, really wanted to give our thoughts, prayers, and absolutely, remember a wonderful man with a very good sense of humor, the late, the amazing, and the wonderful, rest his soul, rest in peace also, President, George H. Trump, George H. Oh my God. Bush, yes. He was really a wonderful man. He had a very good sense of humor, and we wanted to say that for sure before we even start our broadcast. But so now that we've said that, we got that out of the way. Again, our thoughts and prayers, and we mourn with his family. May he rest in peace. So, hey, Buffalo, I heard through the grapevine that we have a special guest all the way from overseas.
That's right, Rob. We have flown him in all the way from Tokyo. Yes, he comes in. He better watch his head in the doorway, because he is 6'4", 837 whopping pounds. He's a sumo wrestler. He's a legend. Rob, he's your biggest hero, literally. Please welcome. Put your hands together, and if your hands aren't clapping, that means you must be scratching your armpit for Yokozuna in our studios, live and direct.
Oh, hatsure gozaiyamasu. Dramaska. Salvatore Sabon Hetbara USA. Hoturu Katarachi, Atrodam Sarabana, Hotromana Robert Duran, Hotromia Sarabana, Hotromanaya, Buffalo Tool.
Welcome to our studios there, Yokozuna. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Rob's glad you're here. So how was your flight? How did it go? Did you have to pay an extra ticket for an extra seat?
Simara, Hotorava Salamanda, Terabito, Badavasuna Kundara, Hatberi, Hotorabat, Sidibedaram, Putalaba Hete, O Makada Hete Surabata, Oto, Me Nadakata, Kadaimas.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yes, that's one of the disadvantages of being such a large gentleman such as yourself, is they're going to make you buy 2 seats on a plane, at least 2 seats, one for each cheek. Yeah, so getting here to the topic, you are a sumo wrestler. You're a legend beyond legends. Tell us a little bit about how you got started. Was that did you start at a young age, and what age did you start?
Hi. Hotsure Sidramino Fraventa, Hotchigrammato, Trebitsinipot Mutaga, Hotsenemako, Minkarabit Serebatolomatis Labrahe, Topa Antecoto Tiperazon, Sotte Mokdorochishi Motoro, Hatterisina Motorin Rapata, Attere Cotomti, Alla Cotus de Batte o Sontoro. Matagado Masca, Sabatsical Tristre, Hotri Porodosto Fede Patate. Hi, Hotene Cotano Atere Atosotomotora. Hi.
Yeah, yep. I know they start out at an early age. That's great. 11 years old. That's correct. Oh, and let me remind our listeners that if you're having trouble understanding our guest, go to the top right corner of your screen and click on the 3 dots, go down to audio and pick translator, and you click on Japanese and it will translate it over to English for those of you that are maybe having a little difficulty with the translation. Okay, so next question. You're such a large guy, and we had to get this special chair for you to sit in our studios, and just gently. Set yourself down gently now. What does your diet consist of to get so large? Because that is part of the sumo wrestling is the size. So how'd you get so big? Because I feel like a midget when you came in tonight.
Hockeybilja Cesarea Batra åt daramen tosso itkaribiti ona de economy ata hesetero de madamiso te ti olavati bosotare de hatte ma macherikottu de katteki ota sushi foto ni ato sujo ate unga toso de sakida hatarema te sadamaste torokoto maktakata yamasta.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a lot of food. Whew, man. It's not very high in carbs, like you say. It's just a lot of food. Whew. And I must also remind our guests, especially Tilly, not to hit on the special guest tonight. Please, Tilly, please try to restrain yourself. I know how you like to go after our special guests, like Pablo. Oh, my goodness. So tell us... You're back in the sumo wrestling. Now, a lot of our listeners are probably wondering what is up with the looks like an oversized thong that you wear. What is that? That must be a traditional attire, not costume, but wardrobe for the wrestling. Or for sumo. Tell us a little bit about that giant oversized thong that you wear.
Me totoro te kiria atoti se me sere daimashita. Ato ikeda te sinemaste sere boto hatine para. Toru mete o sikadara meya hattire meshete tokosuma tseta kadayamas. Kotozea gasse maramasta. Adapti hoto mirikasen saramadan hatane o televekata o ya hatane. Hokkiti atishi utire makatara hattore de matsuri de maskas. Toko etine de sumo attere kototsumo ketere kotte atene kotomatsune tskaramasta.
Kissy.
Tilly, please restrain yourself. We're going to take this portion here to open up the phone lines to callers that might have a question or a comment for Mr. Yokozuna here. So I believe we have a caller on line 1 already. Go ahead, caller on line 1 with your question.
Kissy.
Hanso hatsiribiro to ka terimasu ka?
I believe Tilly would probably enjoy that too much there, Mr. Yokozuna.
Hi. Hotsara de me te autoro te Tilly ko to matara tisa ta Philadelphia ta hotoro kitsil kata medina daska. Hochiri me tsamea hantermite sarmida.
Did you get that, Tilly? Did you hear what he said he wants to do to you, or should I kind of give you a little translation of that?
I need translation for that.
Okay. He said over in Japan, they have their own version of the East Texas Guy Fist, but he has his own. It's the Yokozuna Fist. And he said he wants to take you in that chair over there and ask you to kindly look under the chair to see if you can find a quarter, and then he's going to take that fist and he's going to...
Hey.
Ha. Hotte hasiri ka tsunemasu ka? The soto teboromata sumo fist hattere miti ottore ka shinemasti hatare tili o hatare no lo otoshi hatano otoshi.
Tilly, I think you're getting Mr. Yokozuna aroused with all this kissy kissy stuff. I think you're in for a. I think you're going to be in for a special treat.
You better be careful. I will undress him.
ホッスルメズルでますかセッテルヘータラホッチュルホッスルスンサンヘパティアホットラヘティアホトノムツヤホッチュルココロハチェムトロバハチアツエレホッチュル
Tilly, he's kindly stating that he's already undressed except for his article of clothing that he wears during sumo matches, and it's only lightly tied around the waist, so it should be pretty easy for you to get off.
Woohoo! And I'll be all over him.
メゾにあとヘッシュレダがすれますかとしそとろハットルミツカカスレマダスコ
Tilly, he says it's going to take quite a bit of climbing to get onto his large frame, and that he hopes that you're in good shape because he is going to, let's see, let me translate this correct. He said something about a rock and your world.
あなたが一日食べる魚の数。
カナのカズさんはいはいはいはい
Tilly, be careful now. Be careful.
Hubba, hubba, hubba. Did I hubba, hubba?
He's a lot of man. He's a lot of man. He also said something about there's a table over there, and then he's going to lay you on your back, and then he's going to.
はいはいテレマチェハテレデマスカとヒショリシタラバオトマコドフクルハテレマティクトのゲッパタララワレ
Wait, I want to get pregnant. I don't want to get pregnant yet.
No, he said he didn't say anything about that. He said that he's going to give you the stink face.
はいはいはいトレシレバタラ English あと Please I give rim job
Here you go, Tilly. He wants a rim job.
Okay.
That's a lot of ass there, Tilly. You sure you can handle that?
Maybe.
はいはいホッセ走るメテロあっとよし
I can use my chocolate rocket on them.
ああチョコレートロケットやははハトロウチシネマツリが出ますか
Oh, Tilly. He said he's going to take you into the sumo ring and he's going to show you his moves.
Uh-oh. I better run and hide now.
That's right. You twist his arm the wrong position, he may just do more than rock your world.
José hatteni metoro binitto. Ecce, ottoro delle mocci, talamate, hatsorokotta.
That sounded pretty serious, Tilly. Would you like that translation too?
No, thank you. I'll stop. I'll behave.
Well, I'm going to give it to you anyway. He said that he's a single man. He has nobody in Japan as a partner. So he's going to take you back to Japan and make you his wife, whether you like it or not.
はいはいはいはっちからもっとあったら日本でおしあっちるしとらたらみそってこうまっててれもち
You're going to cook and clean and cook and cook and cook and cook for him because he has to maintain his figure and has to maintain, the sumo lifestyle.
Nope, not going anywhere. Nope. Sorry.
I don't think you have a choice in this matter, Tilly. You've got him quite aroused with the, all the other stuff that you were saying to him about kissy. So his arousal has peaked. You're in trouble.
ポトナホットネバラレダラサラホッタリビヘトとヘキでホトナラポトナレカタゼビサラ
Calm down now, Yokozuna. Calm down. She didn't mean it. What she really meant to say was, yes, she will gladly go back to Japan with you and be your wife. Just calm down now. Don't start breaking the furniture.
はあはあは
Hell no. I'm not going anywhere with that bozo little clown.
Don't upset him, Tilly. No, we don't need any more damages done to the studio. You gotta... Yeah, I think you got yourself in a bind now. You have no choice. You've got to go. Hope you got your passport.
That's one thing I do not have is my passport. I never got a passport, and I'm not getting one because I'm not going with that bozo little clown. I don't care if he hurts the studio. I'm not going.
Yo, what's going on? Because right now I have no clue.
Soundwave, welcome to the Brain Tool Show, live and direct here on CB Radio Drama Free, where our special guest Yokozuna has decided to take Tilly back to Japan to be his wife. She doesn't want to, but it doesn't matter. You don't have your passport, Tilly. He's got connections. You're still going.
はいはいホットラでパッテミことのてれパスポルタヘッテことのてみ方にてせことヘッテレマカタシ大しととのみ方
He can kiss my tushy because I'm not going. You can't make me. Nope.
Well, a man of this stature can just take you and toss you over his shoulder, and next thing you know, you're on a plane.
あは初音こっとの誰から待ちますか当たり前です誰がするんですかはてねあぶっから
Well, Tilly, in some countries, if you get married to a man, the man have every right to pretty much have the word or the last word I think, or something like that.
This is just a show we're putting on. And I'm not going. If he tries to pick me up, I can kick him in the manly jewels. How you like that one?
I don't think that will do any good because if you notice his attire, it's kind of like a steel cup down there. So that's not going to be too effective on him. I believe that you are in for a special treat. Just prepare yourself for the sumo wrestler lifestyle in Tokyo, Japan. Isn't that right, Yokozuna?
はいはい時をそのテレビで形でとすもことのおらなめつつから出ますかはっとるさったらめつつからますか
I'll protect you, Tilly.
There you go, Yokozuna. There's another willing participant, Cougar Mama.
はあはあそうがままだはあそれで待ってるか待ってますかとっていうのまだけはってね
You leave my Tilly alone, and I'll kick you in your nuts.
Oh, Cougar Mama, he's trying to get a two for one deal here. I think he's gonna try to ask you to be his wife too. Uh-oh, you're both in trouble now.
ほっそれてますかあ こがらままらとの。へへへへ。あってりがおいしい。
Thank you, Cougar Mama. Let's get them. Let's beat them up.
Wait, Yokozuna, wait just 1 second. You cannot take Cougar Mama with you because she is a proud sponsor of the Brain Tool Show here on CB Radio Drama Free. That's right, Cougar Mama Security. Do you need cameras set up on your property? Do you need personal security, such as a bodyguard? Well, all you have to do is go to cougarmamasecurity.com, turn in a little bit of an application, fill out some paperwork, make a couple of payments on your credit card, and you can be protected by Cougar Mama Security. And Cougar Mama, this could end up being a pretty good gig for you. You could be his security guards at his sumo events. You'd have to travel the world with him, though.
はい。ほっそれてれがますけ、とろま、USA、はってにむことの、KT のとかささら、ことでがいます。はすとりみでかしたことの、ヘッテロのにまってかって、ボーロになかたお、ポールベクテカシスター、ポート、フージータカさんね、とこ、ね、パタオ。
I mean, the man is really serious about this. I mean, the guy is seriously want to go to Japan with these lovely women. I don't blame him, really, I don't. So, Mr. Yokozuna, what is your thoughts on, say, like American wrestling?
I think American wrestling is stupid.
ほつら、アメリカなトロコミクテをことのまはってと、そちらべたきとしょとの、方に、おすらまてかたはとじゅうれまか、しゅうとしたとるとるまかたら、はたらまかてしとこどん、はってねかっていうまらくて、あととしてかたらいます。そどれはってざいます。
Oh, very interesting. Yes. I kind of share the same viewpoint too. It's all just staged that's why they call it entertainment. Yes. And Yokozuna, we got another question here on the line. What is your favorite pastime? What do you do for hobbies when you're not, quote unquote, working or wrestling, participating in your sport? What do you do for fun?
てことました、はってるかとするますか、トゥルクのま、はってるばてこと、酒、朝日、あったりビーラまてかとしてもって、めかだ、はったりでもっとふじ、あってせことでらとくよ。けと、なとそう、だけではってまってました。
Oh, yes, there's a lot of people here in the United States that enjoy fishing, but you have a different way of fishing. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, that's great. Yep, and eating. Yeah, that's got to be a big portion of your day too. You got to maintain figure. That's very interesting. That's very interesting hobbies. Right on. Does anybody else have any more questions for our special guest?
Yes, I do.
あなたはどのように水牛ツールマルチツールについて感じますか？
はい。ほっつり出れますか？あったり、夫にほっつりでしますと、夫のバクター、夫のマチセラからました。ことの、なばたで出るよけ、あと、味方でロンドン、そうとべか、ほとの、方にもとろ、イーベ、音の、せせかと、でからたりな、江戸。
Oh, my goodness. This is turning out to be quite the event. So tell us, speaking of event, what do you have coming up in the near future for, are you going to, be participating, wrestling anywhere nearby in the United States, or are you mainly going to be sticking to Japan?
ほっついたかとろ、こうとてニューヨーク、あた、報酬、はせてたらでロサンゼルス、かて、おまかてはとすると、 って方したテレカと出ますが、セントポール。もうこて、働き方のセトレディことティソポテで、との、ひことろで、ざやますってことってかして、とこの、ティセでは明日。
Right. And our listeners will be sure to be tuned into the TV to watch you there at that event. Yes, that's coming up very, very soon. I believe that is next week. Okay, if my translation is correct. There's another question here from another caller via the online question and answer session. What do you think about Canada? How do you feel about Canada? The country just to the north of us here.
Oh, sir, atara hatoro ti Canada, ke to toroko se to mitakati Toronto, tiboto Vancouver. He koto sia matte se, atsoro toremi attokono he kotoremi kasta.
Very good. Very good. Yes, we respect that country too. They are just to the north of us, even though they do pull quite a few boners and everything else. They're still Canadian. They're still just like us. They're just over there where it's a lot colder right now. Right. Okay, there's another question I see here in the question and answer box of our show. All right. Well, there's no way to sugarcoat this one. What do you think of Buffalo Tool's multi-tool?
Ha ha ha. That's Hatsure Atsara Buffalo Tool. He Kotonomi at the Kosotil Catera, la Sera Tool, et Tereno Tool Box at the Fotoro, Estacate o To, Robert the Brain. He Kotononi has said no Mokotomasta, Stetrocote, Atanem Kotoro, et de Casta.
That's what she said. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I see another question here in the box. It's from Cougar Mama. Apparently she wants to leave with you because she said, when are you going to leave? So she must be wanting to catch that flight with you.
Ha, Cougar Mama. 初のそのも、てれこと、because they see 後の、働かせます。って方で、おっしゃったかいまして、一つのことでございます。はい。
Well, yep, you got that extra seat. You got everything ready for her, living quarters and everything. That's right. Good deal. Now, here's another question, getting back to the food and the diet of a sumo wrestler. How do you cook a whole chicken?
とおっしゃってる方、エコトロミカティハスタ、とピータウドン、コでラーメン、ツーテレマテ、ヤカトリさん、ケト、キータナバケサベ、ソバ、の、
Oh, yes, it's got to be tender and juicy when it's all done, for sure. I agree with you there. For sure. I tend to take a beer can and shove it up its butt and then put it on the grill and give it that taste. All right. And I see we have yet another question here. How do you abduct your women? Huh. That's kind of an odd question, but do they go willingly or do you have to kind of force them to go with you?
はいはいはい。ほとんどすればってかって、もんところまってください。ます。おそろ、ヒッティの方レポート、ティサムライさん、はってねこと、ベカティタラ忍者。
With ninja-like reflexes. That's right. You got to be fast because some of the women are slippery and they'll get away from you. Got to be quick. Put your arms around them, over your shoulder, and away you go. That's right. And I see we have another question about the multi-tool. Have you ever used Buffalo Tool's multi-tool, is the question.
ほと。
Our executive producer, Computer Chick, was also wanting to hitch a ride with you back to Japan. Would you be considering taking her as well? As I heard she's single and she's ready to mingle, so no strings attached. She's free to go. But then we wouldn't have an executive producer for the Brain Tool show. That's not going to work.
勝手にですって方でございます。テレコディレでございますか。コンピューターチケテ、ほっとりかまって、とこしといただけたオートロンジョコズナさん。こと、ロベデベレニショ、ヘテケティロロ、ヘカテ、ムーコタライセカタ。
Okay. Good. Yeah, like I said, that's what she said. Yeah, on the Buffalo Tool multi-tool. And you remember Tilly from earlier in the show, about half hour ago or so, when she was hitting on you and everything. She's got a little bit of a kinky side sometimes, even though she acts like she's really, really innocent, you know. But she wants to know how you have sex. How does a large man like you have sex?
つれかって、おとのめかった。あてること、かて、おど、おれ、せかって、あとおろかてや。あせかでますか。おとれ、ほっとりかでもって。
That sounds like a lot of ass slapping. So that's, yes, very carefully. I get it, very carefully. Now, I believe this other question it's going to kind of segue into Tilly's question is, have you ever crushed your sex partner and smothered them?
はい。どうし。
How do you feel about Rikishi?
Rikishiさん、ほとれかせりかだれはRikishiさん、ほとれらいじれかた、あとれ、あっこつってけやこずな。
There you go, Amber. He does not like Rikishi. He calls him a faker. He's fake. He's not the real deal. The stink face, that's a made-up move that, no, see, he does not like him at all, one bit. And I'm sorry to hear about the victims that you have smothered during sex, and it's sad, and may they rest in peace.
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
What about blowjobs?
ほつれだ、おっとろかて。Huh?
Tilly, remember, don't get him too worked up now. You get this guy too aroused, and there's no saying what he's going to do. And Amber, you're a wrestling fan. Is there any other? Oh yeah, there is. What? How do you feel about the Yokozuna that used to wrestle in the WWE, the wrestling entertainment, the choreographed wrestling? Let's put it that way.
横綱おとりって WWE ほっちょろえてれこともうとハワイあたしおっとりかったおそでがましたはい
Ah, I see. Yes, it's like I said, that's all just made up stuff. They're athletes. Those are athletes. They're actually they're like gymnasts. That's what he feels about it. And we have a question via Twitch here. How many victims are there that you have smothered and potentially killed there?
こっとりはっつりこっとり
3. There's been 3 victims. We have another question here in the texting box. How big are your nipples? Inquiring minds from Canada would like to know.
ふさが出ますかあったろこって思ったろせてかってもう
man. It's a good thing you wear a shirt, and when you go into a restaurant, they might mistake those for tortillas. They're so big. Yeah, you don't want to, you don't want them to try to peel them off of you. Say, hey, you get those tortillas off your chest. Well, those are pretty large. Those are pretty large, if I say so. That's probably about, I'd say those are probably about 6 inches, 7 inches in diameter.
はい。はい。
Right on, right on. Oh, let's see. Just one moment. Let me go through the box here. And how are the moons? Moobs. There we go. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. How are the moobs? We have a question on how big they are, and do you wear a bra?
ゴッドの油音のせかて、ハッテレビスカってもてかポトナ、ケーレケティシーと、でもかし、とこて、あたりさし、さとり、ハトレコのスカカ、テロマティ、アネ、とこレカパテン、オトレディガスタ、セカタララキーゾン、ヘッテレ、オシケテラムスカ。
Right. I'm not a big fan of bras either. So yeah, I'd like to just watch them hang and swing and whatnot. Now, here's a question for you from our executive producer. She's typed it in the box. If we presented you with a Brain Tool sports bra, would you wear it? It's a nice sports bra. It would fit you perfectly, and it has our show logo on it. Brain Tool. Would you wear it?
あちらこつらまって、方ね、ボトね、たしゅ、はってし、テラブレントゥールねかた、おとりかって、そう、もレスリング、あってこと、はい。
I would definitely wear it also. Heck yeah. I mean, you're going to be popular if you wear it. Everybody's going to want one. Especially the ladies would want a Brain Tool show sports bra. I know I want one, but I don't have the moves for it, but I bet I can stuff it like a turkey. So, Yokozuna, I believe that is all the questions that I have for you. We have one more in the box, though. Will you give Buffalo Tool the stink face? Now, that was Rikishi's move, but they want to know if you would perform the stink face on me.
ホットの、あってかって、おそこてれま、おほと、き、あと、バファロートゥール、と、みよかさけ、は。
Right. There you go. Yeah, that was Rikishi's move, and I know you don't really respect that wrestler and you don't really like him, but I'm glad you would not give me the stink face, because if something happened to me, this show would not go on. Let's see. Okay, we've covered the sports bra, but the Brain Tool show also has a bikini. Are you interested in wearing a two-piece Brain Tool show bikini so you can keep your moves supported? That is a question on the table.
ホトの、ケロタスカ、ヘトロ、シテラベテ、おことにかって、でらすも、けと、かしかてにこと、はってせかってれぶた、ならかと、せからべかってはっとるの、はしてことしまし、ティースとことまして、コミゾン、ティーノの、はっかとるめきちてかって、おたらにブレイントゥールショー、かったね、おっとのほっとの。
I would definitely wear one. Heck yeah. I probably would not wear it out in public, though, but I could wear one. For sure. Yeah, we just have to get one for your size, like you say. You're a fairly rather large man. Oh boy, we have another question in the box. Would you have coffee with a Canadian?
はい。ハトシェトダカスタオートでカナダ、アテレルコテコフィー、はい。
There you go. The answer to that question. Right. It's got to be Timmy Hortons coffee. Otherwise, it's just not going to be coffee. It's either Tim Hortons or no deal. So to the person that asked that question, get ready. Get a couple of pots. It's going to take that much coffee to fill him up. Oh, look, I got the button.
Hey, do you want to walk to Wawa with me sometime?
Hey, what's going on there, buddy?
So, Yokozuna, and good morning, Moneybags. Yokozuna, Tilly asked if you would walk with her to Wawa. Just be careful, because sometimes the sidewalks that Tilly walks on has dog poop. We don't want you to slip and fall.
はあ、はあ、はあ。配収集で働いて、こっちには、あとの、いいことれますか、itu kataste ostokotte namateka fit otkit anadakhe kosetilisan ottirikotte ammatike osutkatti totowawa.
Did you get that, Tilly? He said he would rather ride in a car since walking to Wawa is such a large distance and he's a large man and he's afraid he wouldn't make it. So he'll ride in the car and watch you walk down the sidewalk and follow you to Wawa.
That sounds good. He can do that.
Right. Because we don't want him slipping and falling in any poop. And that could be a career-ending injury for him.
It was mud. Stop saying poop, you butthead. It was mud.
Yokozuna, what do you think about that? Was it mud or was it poop?
星ね、してくれますけど、入ってる。
And now a word from our sponsors. Do you feel like you're running a fever? You think you're catching a cold? You need to check your temperature. Those forehead thermometers just don't work for you? And the one you put under your tongue like at the nurse's station in high school just don't cut it. Those are junk. Introducing from the East Texas Guy closet of all kinds of stuff. We have the East Texas Guy fist/thermometer. That's right. The only way to get a good reading on your temperature is through the back door. So pick yours up today. They are available where the East Texas Guy fists and fingers are sold. Get yours today for only $19.99. Requires 4D batteries not included. Some assembly required and only for use under adult supervision. Rob, do you have any additional questions for Yokozuna?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was wondering if, I'm a big fan of sumo wrestling, and I've been following the Yokozuna for years, and his final return was epic, and I wanted to ask him, based on his fan base, what would he like to say for the fans? Because I believe we need to wrap this up. Yokozuna, he's a busy man. So is there anything you would like to say to your fan base, Mr. Yokozuna? おっとりか出ますか。ほっとね、おっとりかでしかって、おっとりか、はっとりめかって、ブレン、ロベでブレン。ロベでブレンなら、ほっとりめかってかすと、あったりかした、おっとりかてげますたやます。それめって、おれめかったはっと、たかて、おとらい、いなりかて、UK。アレン、in UK。はってせこと、エルメカとではしてか出ました。ゲーグルス、あったかてし出ました。ボファロトゥール、はったりかせれました。 はい、ことのめ、あったらかせと、てれかたれはとみか、てことの、は、ことめせてこってぽって、ことね、おっとろしのまだ、はったらけてさいまんです。
Thank you very much there, Yokozuna. And thank you for those kind words to everybody out there that you mentioned. And thank you for being a guest on our show tonight. It was very informative. There's a lot of questions that were asked. You answered a lot of questions, and your mouth must be kind of dry, so feel free to help yourself to that giant pitcher of cold ice water over there. I'm sure you can probably drink most of it.
はいはいはい。ありがとうございます。Thank you, USA, Brain Tool Show. I had a good time. はいはい。はったりが、ありがとうございます。Oh no, sir. ありがとう to you.
And arigato to you, Mr. Yokozuna. And Rob, I came across an interesting little blurb here in the news. It's kind of funny in a way, but you're familiar with those Norwegian cruise lines. I mean, you're down there in Florida. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, those big bulky things. Yeah, man. I've been on one a couple of times. They have open buffets and casinos and a whole lot of pools. My favorite. I like to go at least once a year.
Well, wait a minute. Do they really have a deck way on top that's clothing optional?
Some do, yes. Yeah, I believe there was a whole nude cruise, if I'm not mistaken. That was, and it's rarely advertised for, but it's usually booked solid, and you have to book it a year in advance. But I'm not so sure about the nude deck.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, I was just kind of curious. That was a side note question there for my own personal reference. But apparently these couple decided to take a Norwegian cruise line, sail the Caribbean. Everything was going great. They were having a good time and everything. They returned to the dock more than an hour ahead of what they thought the departure at 5 p.m. And they found the ship was gone. It had left the scene. They were quite frightened and devastated. They ended up exchanging some of their money and stuff, in the Cuban currency. They took a taxi to the airport, and the airport wouldn't take a credit card. Quoted them some sort of ungodly amount of money here, which they did not have. But they did manage to book a flight, and they have since contacted Consumer Rights Group about this. Wouldn't that be awful, Rob? You're going to take a cruise, you get to a little island, you get off, you walk around, and you come back and the ship's missing in action?
Yeah, that would suck. It's like, how do you even call for help at that point? Really? I mean, how do you call for help? Especially if it was one of those, pristine islands, where there's no humankind, no contact, nothing. Oh, God. This is another Wilson episode, Grab a ball, smudge your fingers on it, name it Wilson, and start talking to it. But yeah, that would suck. That would suck majorly.
And in Cuba, of all places, no way. So I believe Norwegian Cruise Line is going to be back in court or something. They're probably going to try to sue these people. That just makes me not want to take a cruise.
Why not? No. You should go to Cuba. I think you should. The free cigars. Well, not free. The Cuban cigars. they have a lot of stuff there. Beautiful food, excellent culture. People there are very friendly, by the way. And surprisingly, true story, these guys actually are way advanced in medicine, arguably more advanced than we are, because they've been isolated for decades and decades on end. These guys had to reinvent their own medicine, and believe it or not, some of the best doctors in the world now are Cuban. So yeah, I would go to Cuba. I wouldn't mind getting stuck there.
Yeah, you just want the free cigar, or not, they're not free, but you want those cigars. That's the only reason you want to go over there.
Well, no, I mean, the Cuban culture is very vibrant. It's not just cigars, as most people would assume. I mean, you got Cuban food, which is awesome. Their food is amazing. Anywhere from the croquetas to even their own version of empanadas. They have the Cuban sandwich, very famous, yes. A steak sandwich, believe it or not. It's really, really a different take on steak. They literally mean it. It's like a slab of steak and bread and deep fried crunchy onions. And they put this, what do you call it? A garlic mayo. Yeah, it's killer. I mean, yeah, Cubanos, man, they know how to live. They really do. And the coolest part of it all, they also have some of the best rum in the industry. So if you're a drinker and you like a good rum, Cuban rum is considered one of the best.
Have you ever been picked on in high school? You dread going down to the Circle K in the middle of the night because you're afraid you're going to get your ass kicked. Have you ever wanted to be a male stripper? Well, now you can combine both in just one class. That's right. Go to Sandman's Chippendales Karate School, where you will learn the techniques of hand-to-hand combat, and you will also be able to work that pole like it's never been worked before. That's right. For a small fee of $350, you can learn the martial arts that Sandman has perfected over his lifetime. And you can also, for another $200, you can learn how to be a male stripper. That's right. Sandman's Chippendale Karate School. Bow tie and G-string not included.
Wait, you forgot something, I think. He was telling us the other day that he for an additional $500 per class, he can teach a person how to empty a clip, literally a gun clip within 1.3 seconds, was it? Or 1.6 seconds? I'm not so sure. I mean, Sandman's dojo, I've been there. I'll tell you guys, I lost 2 ounces in a matter of 2 years practicing with Sandman. Amazing stuff, really. If you guys want to go and lose weight, that's the place to do it. And you will learn a lot of things. Self-defense, working a Chippendale thing. Although, to be honest, I never did that. Why didn't I do that, Buffalo Tool? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I'm a sexy beast.
That coming from a former ass-giving champion. Sexy beast. I'm thinking about taking the class myself. I went down to the Circle K the other day, and there was some rough people down there. But the main thing is I just took a trip to Billings, Montana. And I was coming back through, Montana, South Dakota, and so forth. And I stopped at a gas station, and there was quite a few. Let me see. I'm trying to recall. I believe there was 14 Native American Indians there, and they didn't want to let me into their store.
Wait a minute. You also sent me a fax with what happened to you in Chicago. I think the viewers have the right to know. When you were debating, I'm sorry, I know I'm putting you on the spot. You were debating whether you want to tell that story or not. Because of your humble origins, but I don't think it's fair for you to actually hold such a beautiful story and how heroic you were. It was amazing. I was amazed, guys, really. No, please, Buffalo Tool, go on. Please tell our viewers exactly what happened to you over there.
Okay, wait a minute. Is that the same fax that I'm holding here in my hands from higher sources? Is that the same fax that you got?
The very one the same.
Okay. Long story here, but we'll try to shorten it up. Of course, you guys know that I'm in a different type of job now. I'm I guess what they call a hotshot driver. I take RV trailers somewhere and then I bring vehicles back and so forth. So I had a couple of Harley Davidsons that were wrecked. They were junk. They were salvage title vehicles. And I dropped one off, went to my first location, and I walked into a small type of office, which looked a little shady, and they were Russians. And apparently there was no collusion there, but they did not want to pay the cash on delivery for said motorcycle. So after calling dispatch and getting the runarounds, I became a little bit upset, Rob. And you know what happens when I get upset?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was epic. What you've done was epic. Guys, this man single-handedly did the following.
I did not want to give them the motorcycle because I needed my money. They became a little bit aggressive, but they set me up. They really did. They told me to drive around to the back alley to the unloading doors, and they will handle, they'll bring out the check or cash for the delivery. I said, okay. So I drove back there. They opened up the overhead door, and Rob, next thing I know, I'm surrounded by 18 Russians.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And what did that guy say to you? Go, what do you want to do? Kick your ass. And Buffalo Tool, he heard the word ass, and he saw red. From there on, he saw red. Oh, man, the story goes on. You guys are not going to believe. Now, this is the part of the story that I wait for.
Right. Well, I'm a little bit ashamed of my actions because I probably shouldn't have done this, but they surrounded me and they were not inviting me to a shot of vodka, that's for sure. So it wasn't even rocket vodka, which is the best stuff in the world, So they surrounded me. They started getting a little rough. They started to unstrap the motorcycle from my truck, and I said, whoa, you don't touch. That's my stuff. You can pay me the money and you can have it. Well, one guy decided to try to pin my arms behind my back, which was a big mistake because, my shoulders are like 65 inches wide. So I immediately broke that hold. And another guy tried to come and grab my arms, and I had 2 Russians on each of my arms, and then I just started kicking. And then I broke free from where they had me by the arms. And let's just say after some ass kicking, a few roundhouse kicks and stuff, they tried to run back into the garage and close the overhead door on me, which I grabbed the bottom of that door and I ripped it right off the side of the building. And I rolled it up in my hands, and then I just started swinging it around like a giant baseball bat, and I just knocked them all to the ground. And they tried to get up, but I kicked them back down again, and I hopped in my truck and drove away. Slowly drove away.
Yeah, but you left out one most important part of the story. I'm sorry. You forgot about that guy who came from behind, holding a bottle of vodka, who wanted to swing at you. And what did you say to him when you took that bottle away from his hands?
Yeah, I forgot that small detail. Yeah, it was all just like a giant blur because it happened so fast, and I was so upset. He tried to hit me over the back of the head with a bottle of vodka, and I caught it before it hit me. So as I was holding his arm that he had the bottle in, I took the bottle, I drank the vodka in one chug. Then I took that bottle and I smashed it into his face, and he started bleeding all over the place. And Yeah, I think that's when I got in my truck and left.
Yeah, but you said something to the guy while you were doing all that. I remember. That's not what's written in the report. Remember, I have a copy of that report. Yeah, and I get them from high sources.
Yeah, I told the guy as I grabbed the bottle, I said, if you're going to hit me over the head with a bottle of vodka, at least make sure that it's Rocket vodka. And I took the bottle and drank it. Is that what's in your report, Rob? Because, like I said, it was all a blur. And when I left, whoever did the reporting of this crime, I was not around. So they could have twisted it a little bit.
Well, no, what you said is right, but actually, based on my report and I read, it says, he looked at me and he says, if you're going to hit me with a vodka, make sure it's a bottle of Rocket vodka. By the way, don't ever reconsider the fact that I don't like any other vodkas, sir. I do appreciate fine vodka such as Grey Goose, which is not even Russian. However, I do appreciate a good vodka. Occasionally, every once in a while, I drink a Smirnoff. But then again, Smirnoff sounds a lot like Jackoff, so I stay away from it. You said all that, or according to him anyway.
I may or may not have said that. He could be exaggerating. I just remember looking over the carnage of Russians that were laying there on the ground and the wadded up garage door that I ripped off the side of the building, and he was bleeding from the face because I smashed him with the bottle. It could be true, Rob. I don't know. You said you have documents to prove it.
Right here. I have documents. In fact, according to my sources, my higher sources, one question, the dog was a witness also, and the dog said, and I quote, "Woof, woof, 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 woof." You left that part out too.
Another part I left out was the old lady in the wheelchair that was watching the whole thing from down the street. And she rolled away quickly as soon as I started to rip the garage door off the side of the building.
Yes, actually, but the dog, man, all these woofs that he said, he was really angry because he was chained, from what I understand. We actually sent this to analyze, with a dog whisperer here, and he said, woof, 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 woof. Okay, son of a bitch, I'm tied to the freaking chain. If I wasn't tied to a freaking chain, I would bite your ass so hard that I would actually take a chunk of it and hide it under that Ford Pinto that's been in this particular garage since 1972. Hey, I'm just saying, that's what the dog said.
And I believe I just checked online to the Chicago Police Department and looked up that report. And actually, what the dog said was this. Okay, there you have it. That's what the dog actually said. And I think he was asking who let the dogs out. It just wasn't translated properly.
And because you're a humble man, you forgot to end your story with the truth of the fact that when you walked into the precinct at the police, they gave you what for the city? Oh, that's right. Let me remind you, folks, this guy is so good at what he does. I mean, Buffalo Tool here is a superhero. Chicago's own, right? The mayor himself told the police to hold him in the precinct so he wouldn't leave. And for a moment there, he was like, wait, what's going on here? They were giving him coffee and donuts. And then, the mayor himself walks in and he bows on his knees and raises his arms with this little tiny box that says keys of the city on it. Can you believe such a humble man? You know what he says? No, Mr. Mayor. It's not necessary. I was just doing what's right. He says, no, Mr. Buffalo Tool. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't get these people. I can't believe the humbleness of Buffalo Tool.
That's right. I received another key to another city. I did get to meet the mayor, Rahm Emanuel. I'm not a big fan of his, but, it is what it is. It's no big deal. I just broke up this Russian ring of people that were illegally exporting Harley Davidsons over to Europe. It's just all in a day's work. I just showed up for a delivery, and next thing you know, I'm roundhouse kicking and whipping ass and breaking bottles and ripping garage doors off the side of buildings and then humbly just driving away. But the police did pull me over later because the old lady in the wheelchair gave them a description of my truck. That's when they pulled me over. They took me down to the police station. Unfortunately, it was not Precinct 13, and it was not Barney Miller because that's in a completely different city. But yeah, I was a little bit worried there for a minute that they were going to lock me up because of my actions, but because I broke up a Russian ring of motorcycle illegal shippers, I received a key to the city, which I just kind of use as a paperweight now with all my paperwork from all my deliveries.
Right, exactly. And if there's anything I recall also, see, that's the thing with Buffalo Tool. The guy travels the country and he delivers cars and all sorts of Winnebagos and whatnot. And the man comes across troubles and problems. Let's face it, folks. Let's face it. People like Buffalo Tool are not a dime a dozen. Hell, they're few and very far in between. There's only two names come to mind when it comes to these heroics or this hero kind of personality, aka character. You got Buffalo Tool, the crown jewel of this country, and you've got Sandman. Sandman with a 55, how many? 61 inches on his shoulders broad. It's amazing. People like that are just, they're amazing. I'm amazed by him. the man, he went noodling. I don't know if you know about noodling, and he grabbed this whole entire 355-pound fish with one arm, and squiggling around and all that. He just got it out, put it out in there, grabbed a knife, cut it in half, and he was having sashimi for lunch. It was amazing.
Rob, you're kind of stretching that. It was only 110-pound catfish. Thank you. Well, if I got a hold of a 300 and some pound catfish, that damn thing could swallow my asshole.
What can I say, Rob? We're just a couple of heroes in disguise as just normal citizens. And there he is, Sandman himself, crime fighter such as myself. We just do what's best for the citizens of the United States. When we see trouble, we act on it. And, these Russians were illegally shipping motorcycles to Europe. I broke that ring up single-handedly. But unfortunately, out there's much more crime than him and I can handle. And there's going to be another day and another battle. And we're just going to have to take it one day at a time and one crime ring at a time.
No, wait, hang on now. Just 1 second. Sandman, since I have you on here, I really need to hear one of your amazing heroic stories, please, because the Brain Tool Show really, really thrives on having beautiful people on here. And if you would be our honored guest and let us interview you for the next 10 minutes or so, if you don't mind. Unless you're not busy, we can extend a little further.
Well, there's countless times. Had to go into town to get something. Notice a house was being blocked off due to a fire. I hear a woman screaming her kids were still in there. I took it upon myself to bust through the front door after I found out what room the kids were in. And I pulled a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old out of a house fire. Granted, I spent a little bit of time in the ER for smoke inhalation, but the kids were all right. They only had a few, like a little bit of first-degree burns, but they're still alive, thanks to me.
So you actually walked into a burning building to save those children. See, folks, this is the kind of people we'd like to bring on the Brain Tool Show. Real heroes. You know, heroes usually come, as you know, in leotards and capes and masks. Not this hero. No. This hero wears a Stetson, jeans, boots, a vest, and a nice shirt. And he's well-mannered. And he actually says ma'am to women and sir to men.
But I will say this, when guys found out the hard way, you hit a woman in front of me, they're going to know the whole new meaning of the word pain.
That is right. There is no room for that in society. I am totally against that myself. Women are there to be admired, to be treated like a queen. Any man that strikes a woman like that is not a man in my book. No way. And there has to be someone out there to defend him, and that man is Sandman.
So Sandman, okay, so these are true stories I know you've been through, and your struggle with bad people. In your opinion, if a person is not necessarily bad, they're just having a bad day, and they're taking it out, and you happen to be around, how do you handle such a person? I mean, you don't know this person. What if he was being violent, for example, right? But he was just taking out some frustration. He really isn't a bad person. He's a father of 2, and he just occasionally wears a thong underneath his pants. He doesn't want to show anybody. I mean, he's a normal guy. He's just letting out some steam. How do you deal with that?
Well, one, I don't know any normal guy that would wear a thong, besides maybe East Texas. But I watch people's facial expressions, how they move their eyes, how they look at people. I can tell who's having a bad day and who's one of the nicer way of putting it, scum of the earth type. I usually have them, if they're going off on a woman or a child, I'll intervene and make them focus their attention on me, so the woman or the children can get out of there. And I'll sit there and talk with him. But he gets more violent, and the first time he swings, he's either going to get a size 15 boot upside the head, a big-ass fist, or a kneecap. But if he just wants to sit there and talk it out, for me to help calm him down, those are the ones that's having a really bad day. That's what I look for. I learned how to watch people's actions and study them from a very, very great man, my father, United States Marine, Special Forces Vietnam veteran.
Hoorah! For sure. Definitely. Now, we hear, this is a radio show, as well as I know, and obviously we don't have a photo or a clear picture of you. Do you mind giving us your dimensions, your height, your width, how much do you weigh, how much do you bench, That's a desired question, I'm sure.
Let's see, 6'4", 230 pounds, 34-inch waist, 62-inch shoulders, and I could bench press 314 pounds.
Ooh, with those kind of dimensions, look out. Look out, ladies. Sandman is single. So, I mean, there you go. This isn't a dating site, but those dimensions sound like a big guy to me. He's got shoulders the width of a Yugo, and he's not afraid to use his strength.
Now, you see, here's the thing, though, Sandman. From previous chats with, everybody here, we know that you're an avid gun collector. And you used to go to matches, if I'm not mistaken, on shooting matches. How many of those have you won?
Out of 59 of them, 47.
I mean, how did you win? What was your strategy? What was your school of thought? Was it like the fastest, most accurate? Did you clear the whole entire, what do you call it, simulation all by yourself? Or did you have assistant? Could you go into a little more details about that, please?
Quick draw competitions. Whoever could get their pistol out of the holster and fire all 6 to 5 shots off in one motion. Same way with a 30-30. But you had to pick it up off the table, cock it, and fire it as fast as you could, and then set it down, move on to the next station, which was a 12-gauge shotgun pump action. You had to load it, cock it, fire it as fast as you can until you run out of shells, set it down, and then move to the last position that was a pistol drawing competition, which you literally had to get as fast as you could, yank the pistol out of the holster, and fire the 5 to 6 shots off as fast as you can at the last part.
Man, that's impressive. I've never been to one of those competitions myself. I'd like to try someday, but man, I'm afraid that I would not be able to compete with any of the people there. The only quick draw competition I ever won cost me a girlfriend.
Oh, good Lord. But on the shotgun, firing 5 shells, 1.6 seconds. The 30-30, 1.8. The first pistol round, 1.4. The last one was 1.5 because I missed the hammer.
Oh my God, that is record speed. Record speed. See, this is exactly what I mean. I mean, you guys, okay, you train for this, don't you? From what I understand, you always on the draw. You like to fire your pistol, and you're an amazing man, really. Now, I'm sorry if I have to go back into your past a little bit, but from what I understand, you and in the younger years, you worked as a Chippendale. Let's explore that part of your history, if you don't mind. What is the funniest story you can tell us when you were a Chippendale?
Oh, the funniest and most embarrassingest time I ever had being a Chippendale. I was out doing my thing, and I was told there's a table that has quite a few ladies at it that want a private dance. I get over there, thank God for the mask I was wearing, because it was my mother, my aunts, my grandmother, and a couple of friends of theirs. And you don't know how embarrassing it is when you have your own mother and aunts and grandmother stuffing $20 bills down your G-string.
Oh my God. Oh, that is that's very embarrassing. Now, okay, this is an off the beat subject kind of thing, or off the beat kind of question. What was your preferred motion, the one that entices the most? Do you like come up close to some lady's face and hump in front of her? Would that be like one of your motions that when you used to do that? And did you do that to your family?
I either did that or something called the helicopter. And no, I did not do that to them. But it was kind of bad because the following morning, I left the money out on my table by my bed. My mother asked me where the $6,000 came from. And I'm like, nowhere, don't worry about it.
Oh, really? So what was the story that you gave her at the time to conceal your Chippendale identity?
Told her I wanted a playing pool.
He dare not tell her, well, some of these 20s came out of your purse.
Especially into his own G-string. That is something, I have to admit, you had guts doing that. Now, did they ever find out that you were working as a Chippendale? And if they have, how did they take the news?
Yes, they did find out. They were embarrassed like no other because my mother had to use my vehicle and the bag with my outfit was in the back seat, and she decided to open it up and see what the hell was in it.
And what outfit did you wear? I mean, were you like a construction worker, a policeman, a fireman, a cowboy? What was your preferred go-to outfit?
Black and red and white chaps, black, red and white cowboy boots, black, red and white vest, black cowboy hat, red Zorro mask, a red bandana, and spurs.
Spurs. Oh, okay. Well, that's so basically you had the cowboy image in general. A follow-up question here. Did you ever consider, let's say, doing a policeman or a fireman, a construction worker, any of those, common loved characters or outfits in the Chippendale world? And if you have you ever done private parties?
I've done my fair share of bachelorette parties, dressed up as the cowboy, fireman, police officer, Navy guy. Let's see. I dressed up as a doctor once. But most of the ladies liked the cowboy persona I had. They didn't care for any other ones except for the cowboy.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I mean, okay, now I'm assuming you've done private parties, private bachelorette parties at some hotel somewhere. Have you ever gone in there and, let's say, saw some of your friends in there, like lady friends, like, oh my God, that's Becky from high school, or that's what's her name from back in college, whatever. Have you ever gotten to that point where it's like, almost all of the girls in there and they all know you? Or, I mean, would that be a reasonable thing to say or assume?
Yes, I did about 12 of them for the gals that I went to school with. One of them that I used to date, thank God she didn't recognize me by the way I move and the way I walk. Thank God for that.
Oh, the way you move and the way you walk. Let me guess. You did this exactly during the same like with the music in the background. You can tell by the way I use my walk. I use the way to thing. No time to talk. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you were staying alive, weren't you? That is pretty cool, man. No, really. I mean, I have to admit. Now let's fast forward here to recent days, and if I'm not mistaken, a few months back, you came on here, and I think you got a scuffle. You took on how many people? I mean, they were Indians, if I'm not mistaken, Native American, and they had a beef with you for some reason. And if I'm correct here, I think there were 9 of them, and you took them on by yourself. Do you mind highlighting that story a little more?
Well, went to a bar, hang out with some friends of mine, and there was 12 of them, not 9. They're enemies with my older brother, and they thought that it'd be a good idea to find out his younger brother and beat the living heck out of him to send a message. One of them knows me, and well, they found out that younger brother is just as mean and tough as older brother is. They all got carried out in stretchers. I walked out.
And how did the police react to that?
Well, after interviewing about over probably 150 witnesses and watched the surveillance camera, they looked at me and said, "You're free to go. It's a justified self-defense. And do you want to press charges against them?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." Granted, I ended up having a bruise across my back from a baseball bat and a pull stick.
Man, that sounds rough. That is wow. I could not imagine myself getting into a scuffle like that and walking out of there alive. I mean, that had to well, see, that's where your martial arts training and stuff comes in then, so you can clear the room, as to say.
Yep. 18 years in Bushido, Taekwondo, and kickboxing. 3rd degree black belt in all 3. Studied Marine Special Forces hand-to-hand tactics due to my father and being raised around Vietnam veterans all my life. And studied boxing and did MMA fighting for a while.
Now, here's another question now. Let's fast forward to one of your favorite pastimes. I believe you love making knives and swords and these kind of things. You like to forge. That's the right word, forging. What is your latest project?
Right now, I got several. I'm also passionate about gunsmithing. Right now, I'm working on the Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade, the Ezio's Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio Auditore da Firenze's blade, and the sword of Altair Ibn Ahad. And on the gunsmithing, I am getting ready to work on a 54 caliber musket gun that I bought for $100.
And on top of all of that, I believe in conversation here, you also farm. You have some acreage that you farm as well, correct?
Yep. 500 acres north central Oklahoma, and I got 500 acres in southeastern Oklahoma. Although the one in southeastern Oklahoma, it's all woodland and mountain area.
So what do you raise on your farm? Do you have like livestock, or are you into farming? In other words, some sort of a plant, some sort of a veggie.
Let's see, 350 head of cattle right now, 14 hogs, 150 chickens. I grow corn, wheat, oats, milo, cotton, watermelon, cantaloupe, alfalfa. I haven't tried planting canola bean yet, which I'm going to be trying that next year. And recently I inherited 2 horses, one for me and one for my little girl.
And what are their names?
Well, the paint is Rocky, after Rocky Road, because of his color. And the mare is Ginger, because she's the color of gingerbread.
Oh, yeah. Horses can be fun. Get out there and horseback ride across your land and everything. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Inherited 2 horses? Shoot. And it sounds like there's no shortage of food at the Sandman residence either with everything you raise. Man, you can toss some of that stuff my way when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I don't go hungry. I very seldomly go to the grocery store. But the worst thing about horses is when you got to re-shoe them and they decide to turn around and bite you right square on the butt cheek. That shit hurts.
Now, speaking of butt cheek, I think recently you had a little incident where you maybe acquired some lead in one of your butt cheeks.
Yeah, you're not going to let me live that one down, are you? Yeah, a buddy of mine showed me an old rifle that belonged to his grandfather from Sears and Roebuck. I told him not to load it because of the spring and the firing pin is screwed up. What does he do? To the side of me, puts a shell in it, closes the bolt, and shoots me right square in the ass cheek on the side of it.
And no, I'm never going to let you live that one down, Sandman. That was the story of stories right there when I heard that you took a bullet in the rear end. And we're not talking about one of those East Texas guy bullets. Oh my goodness. Now, did you have to seek medical attention for that at the ER, or did you just kind of, just pull it out and put a Band-Aid on it?
Well, I had to seek medical attention. It went in my right and stopped about probably within at least a paper thickness of skin on the other side of that butt cheek. And they didn't give me anything to deaden it. They just made a small incision and popped it like a zit. And the doctor said, "How bad that hurt?" I said, "Let me punch you in the face and you tell me how bad that hurts."
So the bullet almost made it to the crack.
Now, wait a minute. I thought she was smacking your butt. Lies.
Now, that was the nurse that did that. Not the doctor. The nurse that slapped me in the butt. And funny part is, I left the ER with her phone number.
Did she slap you did she slap you on the rear end when the bullet was in there, or did she slap you when the bullet was out?
She slapped me on the butt before they took the bullet out at the entrance wound. I don't know how many of y'all ever been shot with a 22, but that shit burned and hurt like hell.
I think he needs to cover the wound with the Brain Tool Show man leggings. Yes, they're out now.
Well, she just wanted to see if the bullet would pop out, put a little pressure here, and, well, maybe she'd never seen such a gorgeous ass or something. I don't know. She must have had a reason for smacking you like that. Now, I'd be a little bit concerned if the doctor had done it, but the nurse, oh, shoot, man, I'd enjoy it. Bullet or no bullet in my ass. I said, "Come here, baby. Slap the other cheek."
New meaning to the word butt plug.
Was there any cuppage, like cupping your ass? I'm very, very intrigued to know if there was any cuppage. Sorry.
Well, put it this way, having to wear like a half diaper and sitting lopsided all the damn time, Give that a whirl.
That sounds like something East Texas guy would do.
Really, I mean, all kidding aside here, Sandman is not only a friend, but also he's a moderator of our channel. And guys, let me give you this quick rundown really quickly here. If you like the show and you want to be a part of the show, yes, you can be on this show. Yes, you can. You can be here in attendance and have a chat with us. All you have to do is download Zello app and go into a channel search and type in CB Radio Drama Free. Yes, it's CB Radio Drama Free on the Zello network. And this is how you get to us. And you're more than welcome to actually chat with Sandman, East Texas Guy, Amber, myself, the Buffalo Tool, Rattlesnake, anyone and everyone. We're constant. We're 24 hours. The Brain Tool Show is obviously from midnight to 2 in the morning every Saturday night. So, it's not just the show. You can come here and be a part of the show and really get to know really make new friends here and get to know us, and we'll get to know you and you'll be part of the family. It's that easy. And all you have to do is just come in here, be over 18, drama free, and you'll get along fine with everyone. So
Rob, sorry for cutting you off if I did. You're also forgetting one minor detail. I'm also the lieutenant general of the crew.
Yes, correct. He is the lieutenant general, but also he's the moderator. In other words, that's how beautiful this is. This is important. A moderator is a very high rank here in our channel, and so he is one of the best. And let me tell you, he has a good sense of humor, guys and ladies. And he is fun to be around. He'll tell you stories like you wouldn't believe. And let me tell you, Sandman is an epic of a guy. But now this is interesting though. Lately in the news, I don't know if you guys have been hearing the news. There is something going around on the internet, and it was called the Article 13. Now, Article 13, to sum it up in short, it actually involves the UN, which is not the UN. I mean the EU. In short, is the European Union. And how does that affect us? Well, it affects everybody on the internet. What it means is that nobody can actually, some of our show, like our show here, would not be aired in the European Union. And if your country is in the European Union, most likely you won't get anything, really, with the exception of big corporations who can broadcast on the internet. Now, if you have a chance, please fight back, push back, call your local government and tell them not to vote on Article 13. Article 13 is the enemy of the people. It's the enemy of the world. People will not have quality shows come to them, especially from us, us who actually do have our own private shows, which have no affiliation with any network or no affiliation with any particular station. So, Article 13 is your enemy. Vote no on this. Push the no to Article 13, and we would love to thank you, and we will vote with you and support you in any way possible. However, I believe Computer Chick has a petition. There's a petition online, and Computer Chick, do you mind actually coming on here and explaining it a little more?
Yes, there's a petition if you go to Twitch, and it will be on YouTube as well, if you click the links in our info box, to sign the petition. Right now, they need over 16,000 signatures. We are close to that because everybody worldwide is signing this petition to stop this. Article 13, that means we won't, the Brain Tool Show, Afternoon Twist, anything gamers, fellow gamers, if you live stream or on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, the European will block that content. We need to stop this. And it's it could affect Zillow. Yes, this will affect everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Computer Chick. I had been reading up on that a little bit, but I had no idea the severity of this, and yeah, that's not going to be a good thing for a lot of people.
No, it's not a good thing for anybody, really. And it's quite sad to see that, the EU is kind of not necessarily pulling off the big stops, but also they're caving into big media corporations. And so to those big guys, hey, they have the biggest slice of the pie. Give us a slice as well. So that's all we got to say to them. And, Article 13 is your enemy. Let's face it. If you're on the internet and you get content or you actually pass on content, Article 13 can't put a stop to you, at least in the EU or at least in the European Union. So those guys are going to create a bubble around themselves when it comes to content, and that's not right. That's not good. That's not fair. It's against everything the internet is for. And so again, please do whatever you need to do to stop Article 13 from happening.
Man, yes, make sure everyone signs that petition. Make sure you sign it. I got a couple things here. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Molly again for joining us in CB Radio Drama Free and listening to the show. We try to get her to be an active participant one of these days, but she's just listening for now. And second, Sandman, are you still with us there? Calling Sandman.
Yeah, I'm still here. And if y'all come into this channel and all that, and if you have any questions on anything construction for your house, I'm well experienced in home remodel and new construction, residential and commercial. I could give y'all some pointers.
There you go. There you go. Not only is this channel here, we have fun times and serious times, and we also have valuable information out there to pass out to everybody. So, any questions, feel free to ask. But the question that I have, and I'm sure that is on everybody's mind, Sandman, if we can go back, about 10 minutes into the conversation here, is have you healed from that gunshot wound to the ass?
Yeah. Don't hurt like hell to sit down anymore. But I still got a small hole that hasn't fully healed.
Now, where the small hole is that going to be a permanent scar? Because from what I understand, at one time you were competing in ass giving, and you really got some eyebrows raised. So is that scar going to go away, and your ass will look beautiful as before, or is it going to look not as beautiful anymore, and it's going to have holes in it?
It's going to have an indention.
So like a dimple in your ass cheek. That could add character to your ass for next year's ass giving. That could be the potential winner right there. Like, oh, look at that dimple.
Oh, good Lord. And for the ladies that's listening, I've been told by several ladies around here that I got a cute Wrangler ass, so.
Giddy up, ladies. Giddy up. We have a bachelor who has a cute ass who actually knows how to rock your world.
Moo, moo, buckaroo.
Well, I'm also a retired bull rider, saddle bronc rider, and bareback rider.
And ladies, he's stressing on bareback there. There you go. And no East Texas guy, you can't have Sandman.
I'll be over.
Oh my God, see, we already have a caller on line number 1. Go ahead, caller. You have Sandman on the line. You'll answer all your questions. And maybe even all your fantasies.
Will you go out with me, Sandman, on a date?
There you go, Sandman. Matchmaking here on the Brain Tool Show on CB Radio Drama Free, exclusively on the Zello Radio Network. She wants to go out for some coffee to Wawa.
And Tilly, You gotta think there's probably over quite a few thousand miles between us here. You know how long that would take me to drive?
Piece of cake, Sandman. I just drove out to Montana and back in a week, following DOT regulations on hours of driving as well. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, and Tilly, you're making the man blush. Uh-oh.
There's love in the air. It's Sandman and Tilly!
You know, guys, they do make airplanes. They have for a long time. They came from Ohio. It's the birthplace of aviation.
Yeah, but have you priced a plane ticket lately? And I'm kind of unemployed right now, so funds are a little low.
Wait, you're unemployed at this moment? I thought you probably found a job by now. I'm so sorry to hear that there, Sandman. But the good news is, there is good news, actually. The airfare, believe it or not, right now has dropped tremendously. I mean, tremendously. I booked a flight for my wife to Los Angeles from Orlando, Florida. And round trip for $250. 250 smackaroos. And let me tell you, it was the best deal ever. Round trip, non-stop, mind you. She didn't have to stop anywhere. And yeah, we're going to repeat that again, hopefully. So, airfare hasn't been very expensive. And, to be honest with you, I think you need to wow her, taking her to Wawa, because it's Wawa we're talking about here, man. I mean, the name Wow is in the name.
And to earn a few quick dollars for a plane ticket there, Sandman, you can always go back to being a Chippendale. There you go. The money just doesn't stop when it comes to that profession.
And I'll join right beside you, Sandman. We can be the double Chippendales. Shit.
And Sammy, there'll be some hanky-panky and kissy-kissy.
Oh, good Lord. And, yeah, I'm way too far out of shape to do that anymore. I'd have to hit the gym for a couple of years before I could get back into the shape I was in. In my early 20s, I had the physique of the Ultimate Warrior.
Well, East Texas guy said he'd join you, and he's from Texas, so he'd fall right into that cowboy category like he used to dance there, or perform, I should say, as a cowboy. East Texas guy could get his little pink cowboy hat on and his little pink and black boots, and shoot, maybe he can find him some spurs too. You guys could be the giddy up team.
No, you burn calories with sex, so save a horse, ride a Sandman.
And not only that, Sandman. Not all women like the sculptured body. Some women actually like a little bit of, something to grab on, if you know what I mean. So don't sell yourself short, with your dimensions. Are you kidding me? 62 broad shoulders, 32 waist. Man, you're not out of shape. No. You're out of patience. You need to jump right into that business and get back on it, my friend. Let me tell you, you're going to make enough money, not only to see Tilly, but to see every ROC member. Hey, who knows? You might make it all the way to London.
And sex is a good exercise, so you know what? Yeah, Sandman, jump right back on it.
Yeah, I do know that sex is a good exercise because I've broken about close to 8 beds in my time.
8 beds? I don't know, man. Last time you told me 4. Or maybe it wasn't in my presence when you mentioned the other 4. I'm not sure. But I know that you broke a lot of beds in your day, and you know what? There's more to break, my friend. Hey, you're a single man. You're a single man, and I envy you. I live vicariously through you. So, please don't hold back. Just go out there, explore the world. Live free or die trying.
I'm not that pretty for him anyway, so.
Now, don't sell yourself short either, Tilly. Don't sell yourself short like that. There's a man for every woman and a woman for every man on this world. That's right. I just Don't think I've found mine just yet, but there may be one possibility brewing there. And yeah, so keep your chin up, Tilly. Keep your chin up.
I must agree. Well, would you look at the time? It is almost 2 a.m. Do you know what that means? We're coming short on our hours, and yes, you have wasted a very good 2 hours with us here on the Brain Tool Show. We love doing the show. Really, we do. We can't thank you enough, our supporters and our very, very devoted listeners on both YouTube and Twitch. If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for your support, really, we wouldn't have a show. If it wasn't for our listeners and our participants, we wouldn't have a show. You know, and off the beating path, really, we can't thank you enough. And to say thank you would be a mild, really, it's just not enough. So we would like to direct you to further. If you want to be a part of this show, seriously, all you have to do is download Zello, a Zello app, which is free. And, go into the channel search and then type in CB Radio Drama Free, and you can be here, right here with us, having this conversation or any other conversation that we might strike up with you. You know, we play games on here, we give away free gifts, and, we promote the show as best as we know how. Sometimes we even do prank calls, and we accept anyone and everyone. Now, this is a major announcement, and, we've been holding back since, the whole show. And it's time for us to tell you that, yes, we are collecting poop pictures. Okay, don't laugh. It's serious. You just, every time you take a poop, take a photo and send it to us. Our email is, and it's, rfcproductions@Google googlegroups.com. It's rfcproductions@googlegroups.com. We are collecting pictures of poop, and we're not kidding about this, because this is a very, very, we're working on a very big, show that's involving poop and whatnot. And it's going to be a comedy, and it's going to be scientific as well. So, if you would honor us with your poop pictures, we would really appreciate it. Buffalo Tool, take it away.
That's right, Rob. It's going to be an epic show when it comes to the poop show, because it does have scientific studies behind it. And right here in my hands, I've got documents from higher sources on this science of poop analogy. That's right. And we are going to analyze the pictures, and it's for science and for fun as well. So, giving the address that Rob has presented you, don't forget to send those poop pictures in. And you are allowed to send in more than one. So, if you took one on Monday and you took another one on Tuesday, then send them both in. Morning poop, afternoon poop, 3 times a day. But just remember, if you poop at work for 10 minutes at a time, by the end of the year, you will have accumulated, 4 weeks of vacation time? Just sitting there pooping at work? So, I would like to thank everybody for listening to our show. Thank the Twitch listeners, the YouTube listeners out there that don't key up, listeners out there that are just lurking in the corners of CB Radio Drama Free Room. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to our production team. Thank you to Rattlesnake, LBT, OG Criminal, our security team, Cougar Mama, East Texas, our sponsor. Cougar Mama, our sponsor as well. Rocket Vodka, who's following us there. All of our followers on Twitch. Thank you to everybody. And if I forgot to mention someone, just please don't hold that against me. I've got a bad memory because I'm not wearing my Granny 420 memory foam inserts tonight. I'm wearing my slippers.
That's correct. And you know what, too? We would like to special thanks to our guest, Sandman. Thank you. You've been a very, very gracious guest. We appreciate your company. Really, we do. And again, thanks for everyone who actually put a hand into this show and actually put up with us. And really, we can't thank you enough. So from our production team to you, we say thank you. Now, the show has ended, and we will see you next week for sure. Same time, same place. Of course, on CB Radio Drama Free, part of the Zello Network. Good night, everybody. This has been an RFC production.